Hi, I'm Rena Palloff. I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area. I live in Alameda, California. I'm actually a Fielding alum. So I bring sort of an interesting, I consider myself sort of a Fielding poster child because I started with Fielding in 1991 as a PhD student in HOD. After I completed my PhD with Fielding, I immediately started teaching in the master's program, the online master's program in HOD called Organization Management and Development. I've been teaching in that program now for probably about 11 years. And that, again, is master's students mostly in organizational behavior. About 3 or 4 years ago, I hooked up with Judy Witt because of my experience in online teaching and all of the work that I've done in the online environment, which I'll talk about in a minute. And we started in ELC what's called the Teaching in the Virtual Classroom program. And that program focuses, it's an academic certificate program that focuses on helping people learn how to teach effectively in the online environment. That's a program that also articulates into the doctorate in ELC. So some of you sitting here right now may have come through that program as sort of a way into the doctorate, and some of you may find that you're interested in it as an addition to your doctoral work. I mentioned that my experience, my expertise is in the area of online teaching and learning. I have a colleague, Keith Pratt, who is also an adjunct faculty in the EDD program and who teaches in TVC. He and I have been working together for a long time, probably the last 12 or 14 years. In the area of online distance learning, we started that work as doctoral students in HOD, started presenting that work at conferences after we graduated, and what has emerged from that has been a partnership in writing books on online distance learning. We've just released our 5th book, which is actually the 2nd edition of our first book. So the first book was Building Learning Communities in Cyberspace, the second one, Lessons from the Cyberspace Classroom, the third one, The Virtual Student, the fourth one, Collaborating Online, and the 5th one is the revision, which has been retitled Building Online Learning Communities, and I challenge you all to say all 5 titles 5 times fast. We are pretty well known in the area of online teaching. We travel around the world doing talks at conferences, working with faculty, teaching faculty how to work in the online environment. So in terms of some of the work that I do in the EDD program, I certainly mentor in those or do work with students in those areas, in those knowledge areas. But I also work in some of the other knowledge areas in human development, systems theories, action research, because one of my other real loves is participatory research. I'm very much a community-oriented person, have done a lot of work with communities, with underserved communities, with community groups that are trying to develop services for underserved populations in their communities. I also, I've been an activist pretty much all of my life in terms of working in politics and for other kinds of causes, and that's where my interest in participatory research has emerged. My background actually, my past life was as a clinical social worker. So doing that kind of work with groups and communities has come very naturally to me. I've always said that I was sort of born a social worker, and that my interest in participatory research has come from that. In terms of my life outside of Fielding, I walk a lot. I live about a mile from San Francisco Bay, so I like to walk every day down to the bay and walk along the bay, which is one of the ways that I sort of debrief and unclutter my mind and do some of the work that I like to do. I also am an Avon walker. I walk in the Avon Walk for Breast Cancer on an annual basis. And so my walking is part of my training also for those walks. I also make jewelry, and that is what I was just telling someone that's going to be my retirement hobby, except by the time, or my retirement work, except probably by the time I'm able to actually retire, I won't be able to see to do it anymore, so I don't know how successful I'll be. But I do love to make jewelry, and that's something that I do ongoing. I also love to read, and I am currently in Tucson very upset that my Harry Potter book is at home and I'm not there to read it. So that's just a little bit about me. I'm thrilled that all of you have chosen the doctoral program in Educational Leadership and Change. I'm very committed to this program, feel that it's a wonderful program that's going to offer you a tremendous educational opportunity. I'm thrilled that all of you are here.